Welcome, everyone. So in this video, we're going to start lab module number 2. So for this, you're going to require your alignment 2 iteration, which was the final iteration we did for module number 1. So you're going to need to have that up. And you're going to need your instructions for module number 2. And on top of that, we're going to need a piece of information from your vertical alignment document. So make sure you have that handy and make sure you have page 9 handy because we're going to use a piece of data from this a little later on. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to start a new set of iterations and we're going to save our alignment 2 under a different name. So we're going to go here to our menu. We're going to hit save as. In that same folder, we're just going to change it to profile 1. Oops. Okay, so now it should be said, it should say profile 1. We're going to create a surface profile here. So you're going to, on your home tab, you're going to go to create design. You're going to go to profile and you're going to create a surface profile. Now it's going to open a window. You're going to make sure of a few things here. You're going to make sure that Seneca Drive is the one listed here at the top. You're going to make sure that your length of Seneca Drive is not 0. So these two numbers should have a distance between them. If you see, it says here 21,000 and 21,966. So it just has to be non-zero. You're going to select your EG surface here and you're going to add it. And then you're going to click draw on profile view. This is going to open up another window. And we're going to change some settings here. So under profile view height, you're going to go here. We're going to change the profile view height to be user specified, and it's going to go from 217 to 236. So we're going to change those. We're going to make sure that the split profile view is unchecked. Make sure that's unchecked there. Then we're going to go down to data bands here. We're going to make sure that the data band set is mine is default set this way. You just got to make sure that it's it should say EG, FG, elevations and stations. It should say bottom of profile view. Then you're going to hit create profile view. Then on the diagram, you're going to go to the right here. Now, where you click, that's going to be the bottom left corner of your profile view. So I'm going to roughly click somewhere around here, and it'll instantly draw us our profile. We'll zoom in a little bit. There's that red line. That's our profile view of Seneca Drive from our plan view. Now, if you take a look at it, it looks like the Seneca Drive is going at a very steep incline here. But remember, in this profile view, everything is exaggerated tenfold. And the reason we do that is so that we can do some detail work without it being too cluttered. Obviously, the road is not going at this very, very steep incline here, but it's just been, it's an exaggerated profile view by a factor of 10 times. Okay. We're going to make sure once that's up there, let's give a quick save of our diagram. There we go, it's saved. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to create a couple of points on our plan view, and we're going to project those points onto our profile view here. So the first thing we're going to do is you want to zoom in very close to your intersection of Seneca Drive and Bovine Boulevard. Now, you may think that this little X here is the intersection. It is not. So you have to make sure you can see if you zoom in very close, you want to get in very tight. Now, another thing you notice here is what is supposed to be a circle looks like some sort of polygon here. I'm just going to type regen to give my, you see, and when I type regen, it redraws everything a little bit more properly. My video card just can't handle all the drawing and the zooming in and out. So we just give it a quick redraw. And we're going to create a point here, a manual point that we're going to insert right here at that intersection. Now, I want to make sure on your O snaps that you have for this, you're going to need intersection, and later on, you're going to need node as well. So make sure these two are on. So let's go back to our instructions here. Right. But before we put that, we need a bit of information first. So we're gonna create a point there, but we're gonna get some information that we need at this point. So you're going to go to your Analyze tab at the top here. On the very far right, you have your Inquiry tool. You're going to choose here, make sure that you choose, and you have to go in and even though it's selected here, this is the one I want, alignment, station, offset, and surface elevation at a point. But you have to go and select it again to kind of like set it to go. I want it to be based off of Seneca Drive. We're going to hit it here. And you want to snap right to that intersection between those two and hit that. We're going to go to the bottom here. It's a little glitch here, video glitch, but if I just click one of the values, it clears it up here. Now, you're going to write down your station and your surface elevation. I've already done this, but this is what you're going to write down on a piece of paper, just because we're used to check some stuff later on here. Okay. Now we are going to do the same thing. I'm just going to zoom out for a moment here. We're going to do the same thing to our rail line. There we go, where the rail line crosses. So again, to get the, I want the station and the elevation of this point here. So you have to go in and select it again. So you have to go here. You just have to select the same one, station, offset, and surface elevation. Seneca Drive, hit OK, and then snap to that point. And I just have to click it. And you're going to record the station and the elevation for the rail point as well. Okay, so that we did that. Now we're going to create our points. So again, we're going to zoom back, zoom into our intersection between Seneca Drive and Bovine Boulevard. And now we are going to create a point. So you're going to go back to your home tab. We're going to create points. You're going to bring up your point creation tools. And then on this first one here, you're going to do the little drop down arrow on the right, and you're going to we're going to do a manual point there. So you're going to hit manual point. Make sure it snaps right to that intersection. You can zoom in hard just to make sure it's good. Hit that. The description of this point is going to be bovine. So I'm going to type bovine. And for the elevation, I'm just going to hit in a period and hit enter. And there we go. Now we've created, zoom out, there's our point there. Now I'm going to just close the point creation tools. Bring up the description, the instructions here. Now we're going to change the layer that this point is on. It has to go onto C Road Center. So the way I'm going to do that, you can do that many ways, but the way I'm going to show you is we're just going to click on points here in Prospector, right click and go edit points. It's going to bring up all the points that we've imported previously. And if you go right to the bottom, you're going to see our point. There's the one that we just created, bovine, right? Point 1798. I'm going to scroll over, and the layer that it's on has to be changed. So we can just do that by double clicking here. And I want it on C Road Center. Make sure you choose that one and hit OK. It's on C Road Center. When you close it, the point should be red. It is red. It looks good. All good. Okay. Now we're going to project. Now I want to know where this point, that our intersection of Seneca and Bovine, where does that lie on our profile? I want that X to appear on the profile. Now, if we take a look here, our intersection is far along, far south here on our on Seneca Drive here. So it should appear somewhere here when we project it. It should appear somewhere on the right part of our diagram here. So let's see how we're going to make that happen. So I'm going to zoom in again to the point. The way we project this over is you're going to go to Profile View here, and you're going to go to Project Objects to Profile View. You're going to select the point. Just going to click on it. You can just have to select the arm. You're going to hit Enter. And then we have to select the Profile View as well. So I'm just going to make sure it's, I highlight it there. I select Enter. And we get some stuff that we have to look into here. Now we just got to change a few things here. So for our point, instead of use object here, we're going to change that to EG. And the label style, we're going to change that label style to none. You hit OK. Should say EG and none here, and then you're just going to hit OK again. Now the point, it should appear somewhere here, but if you notice, it's not appearing anywhere. That's because it's on a layer that's frozen. So we're going to unfreeze that. I'm going to open the layer properties. And we're going to go to vNode. That has to be unfrozen. So we're going to unfreeze vNode right here. And if you did everything like that, there's our X. So this right here, what we're looking at is Seneca Drive here. Where this X is is where Bovine Boulevard intersects with Seneca Drive, right here where this X point is. We have projected it over from the plan view to our profile view. Okay. Now we're going to create a new layer that's going to be based off another layer, C Road. So we're going to open our layer properties again. We're going to go to C Road Prof New. Where is that now? C Road Prof New, right up here. And then we're just going to make sure we select, we just click on it once. Then we're going to hit the create new one right here, right? Can we copy it somehow? Nope. No, we'll just create a new one there. There we go. So this one's going to be called C Road dash Road dash Prof dash MISC. Hit enter. We're going to make sure that's the current one. I'll double click that. The color blue is okay for this. Looks like the color they use in here is cyan. We can change it to that if we want. Just to have a nice color. It's the fourth color over is cyan. Looks good to me. It's the current layer. Make sure it's the current layer. I'm going to close that. So there we have it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to label. We're just going to draw a line up from where. Let's move this over. We're going to move. We're going to draw a line up from our point here, and we are then going to just label it where it's going to say center line of Bovine Boulevard. Okay. So what we're going to do is first, now our X looks like it's on our gray grid line, but it's actually just to the right of it a little bit. So make sure that on your O snaps, that node is selected and it's checked off here. And then we're just going to go to our home tools. We're going to just create a line. And I'm just going to snap to the center there of that node. And then you can have your ortho on, by the way, if you want, but it will snap up towards, we're going to draw straight up a bunch here. There, something like that. Draw it straight up. Now it's not snapping properly to 90 degrees, so I'm going to just turn the ortho on. So now it'll automatically snap straight up. There we have it. Oh, the line went a little too far for me, so let's try that one more time. Snap to the node. And then we're just going to go up a little bit. Around 6 grid marks around there. Oh, it did everything. It drew the whole thing here. Let's try one more time. Now it's about where I'm trying to go forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 grid lines around that amount there. We're going to hit it there. Drawing it straight up to the very top. I do not want that to happen. I don't know why it's doing that. Let's just give that one more shot here. There we go. That's all I wanted to do, just to have a straight line going there. Now we're going to write center line. Now, if you know, go back to the instructions here. Sorry about that. That took a little bit too long to do. We're going to write center line Bovine Boulevard. It can be either on the left side or the right side of the line. It just, just your preference. Now that center line, if you go in here, that symbol for center line is actually you have to type in a certain command. It's \U plus 2104, right? So what will you do is we're going to use the dtext command. Okay, so we're going to find a spot to place it. I'm going to place it over here. The height we're going to do is height of 2. Okay. specify the rotation angle. Now I'm just going to point it straight up and just click. Now we can start typing. So that command to get that center line symbol is going to be \U plus 2104. And immediately it says that, center line. Then I'm just going to type in caps, bovine BLVD. I'm going to hit enter. Then I'm going to hit escape. Just going to give it a moment. Okay, now we're just going to center this a little bit better here. I'm just going to select that text and take the grip, just move it over a little bit. There we go. That looks fine. Okay, so then we've just labeled that. It's just an annotation of but where Bovine Boulevard is on our Seneca Drive profile here. Okay. Now we're going to create another manual point at the railway intersection again. Now there is, we need some details here, okay? So on the very last page of our instructions, if you scroll right to the very last page, we're going to create a point where the railway is, but we need this piece of data here. So you have to write this down. This is the elevation of the point. I've already written it down, 219.890. That's the elevation of the point that we're going to be placing. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to our plan view. I'm going to zoom into the intersection of Seneca Drive and our rail line. We're going to create a manual point here. So again, I'm going to hit point, bring up our point creation tools, create a manual point here, right on that intersection between those two. There we are. The point description will be called railway. And now the elevation will be that number, which is going to be the same for all of us, 219.890. We hit X. There we go. I'm going to make sure to change the layer that point is on. So I'm going to go to Prospector, to Points, right-click and hit Edit Points. We go and check it out there. There's our railway point, the last one that we added in. We're just going to make sure it's on the same layer as the other point, which is C Road Center. I'm going to go here, C Road Center. There we go. It should be red. It is red. Let's go back to our instructions here, make sure we're following everything proper. There we go. Okay. And we are going to project this over as well. Now, this is going to be just a little slight difference. So we're going to go to Profile View. We're going to project objects again. We're going to project this point to the Profile View. So I'm going to select it. Hit enter. You have to select your profile view now and hit enter. There we go. Now you're going to keep this one as use object here for elevation. And then the label style, we're still going to go to none. Hit OK. Hit OK. And that X should appear. There we go. So our rail, see, it should be far below. There's our X there, right there, right? This is where the rail is going through here, and our road is going over top of it, okay? So that we needed to know that point where that is right there. We projected that over. Okay, I'm just going to give it a quick save here, just for safety's sake. Right. Now we're going to draw a few lines that later on we're going to be filling out for the this is establishing the clearance zone for the railway that we're doing here, okay? So we wanted to, first of all, draw a vertical line from that point to like just several meters, like 3 or so grid lines above our road here, okay? So we're just going to go to line. Hopefully this will go smooth. We're going to go here. We're going to go up. You know, I'm just going to go here, somewhere about right here. And there we go. Okay. So that's a line that's going straight up from our rail point to a few grid lines above our Seneca Drive profile line. Now we are going to offset that line. Okay, so we're going to offset that line by 2. Now what we're doing here, if I go to the last page here, is we're creating this little offset here of 2.5 meters. This is what we're drawing here. we're starting to draw. This is basically going to be drawn in the near the end of this module. You're going to be drawing this. That's how it's going to look like in our actual profile view, but we're just setting up the framework for that first. Okay, so that's what we're drawing here. We're using some of the details here, this 2.5 meters and the 6 meters on either side. We're going to be drawing some lines to get that kind of set up here. So let me go back to the instructions. So the first thing is we're going to offset the line 2.5 meters horizontally. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the offset button right here. Offset distance is 2.5. I'm going to select the line, and then click to the right of it. And then I'm going to select the line and click to the left of it. And there we go. I've offset that line by 2.5 meters on each side. At your rail point, now we want to draw the 12-meter horizontal line between those lines. So the way I'm going to do that, it has to be centered here. And I'm going to just draw a horizontal line here. So the way I'm going to do that, remember, this is always, you can keep your ortho on, and it'll make sure that everything's vertical or horizontal. That's, I have the ortho is right here, right? Ortho mode. So I'm just going to create a line. I'm going to start at the node, make sure node is selected on your OSNAPs, hit that. I'm just going to go to the right, and I'm going to type 6. There we go. And then I'm just going to do that one more time. Create a line, go from there to the left. I'm just going to type 6 and enter. There we go. And then hit escape. And it is drawn. That is 12 meters across. Now, you can always check if this is right. If I select one of the lines, remember, these are two separate lines. If I select one of the lines and then I right-click and I hit properties, you can go here and it shows the distance. The length of the line is 6. You can see it right there, right? So we know that we did it right. You can check the other one the same way, but I'm fairly certain that we did it correct. Now we are going to, we have to offset this line, and this is going to show, I'll show you what, let's draw the line first, and then it'll kind of be easier to explain once we draw it. We're going to offset this line up above here, so it's going to be offset. This line is going to be basically up here as well, that horizontal line. Now we have to figure out how far that needs to be, okay? So the first thing is calculate the minimum allowable elevation of your roadway by offsetting the horizontal line using the clearance, railway clearance, bottom right of page 9, plus 1.5. Okay, so this is what I told you. You need the vertical alignment document. If you go down here, it's this last paragraph down here. The minimal vertical clearance over railway is 7.2 meters. So 7.2 meters, it used to be, when things were in imperial measurements, it used to be 23 feet 6 inches. That converts to 7.1628, and that rounds up to 7.2. So we are going to offset these lines 7.2 plus 1.5 meters for the bridge. So 7.2 plus 1.5 is 8.7, but you have to remember, when we offset our lines, everything vertically is exaggerated by tenfold in this diagram, right? So that 8.7 is going to be 87 when we offset the line. So let's see if we can do that right here. Hopefully it'll be visible as we do it. So I'm going to hit the offset. I'm going to select that line I want to offset. Oh, the offset distance first. It's going to be 87. I'm going to hit this line, just point up. And then I'm going to hit this line, and I'm going to point up. And there we go. I'm going to hit escape. So what I've taken is that I've just taken that line. That is the lower clearance line for where our road's going to go through here, just like that, right? That's like the minimum height. And to ensure that the bridge is not too high and too expensive, we're going to create another line here as well. That is 0.2 above this minimum. Now, again, 0.2, we're going to offset these lines 0.2. We have to do a vertical exaggeration, so that's got to be 2. So again, I'm going to hit the offset button. 2 is our distance. I'm going to hit the left side, click above it. I'm going to hit the right side, click anywhere above it, and there we have it. Okay? Now, we want to make sure that these points are, now, basically, we want to make sure that these points are correctly placed. These 4 points of the rectangle that we just created, so the top left, top right, bottom left, are kind of properly placed. So the way we're going to check that is you can go to back to Analyze tab here, go to the Inquiry tool. We're going to choose a different one here. We're not going to choose from alignment. We're going to choose from profile, station and elevation at a point. All right, and then if you click here on one of those, let's click the top left one. It's just going to give some information here. Clear that off here. This is the information that you want to check to the station and elevation. So how do you know if this isn't the correct placement? Well, if you go to the instructions on the top of page 9 here, is you should have written down what your railway station and elevation is. And these 4 points tell you where those should be. So the top left one should be the railway station minus, and it should be this one here. Let me highlight it, right? And the base of rail elevation up, that minimum 1.5 plus that extra 0.2. And your 4 points are all reflected in one of these 4. So you can do a little checking of your calculations to make sure that you place these points right. I know that they are correct on mine. And finally, we are going to erase some lines here that we do not need anymore. Just a second. So yeah, it's this instruction here we're going to do. That's in page 8. We are going to delete the center line of our railway. We do not need the center line anymore. So I'm just going to click on that and hit delete. And the bottom lines on our railway, these 2 on the left and right, we don't need that. So I'm just going to click on there in 2 parts. So I just got to click on each one and delete it as such. Then I'm going to hit Control S to save. And there we go. So what we have created here so far in the module is we've created our profile view. You have projected the point of our intersection of Seneca Drive and Bovine Boulevard and labeled it, annotated it. Plus, we've set up some lines that we're going to require to do our supplementary data for our bridge, for our rail crossing. Make sure this is saved. Again, always good to save it. And that takes us to the end of this video. Thank you.